Yo, what is up guys, Zaladin Palantir, bringing you another review, this time Game of Thrones Episode 7, entitled The Bear and the Maiden Fair, just for all newcomers to my videos, my reviews. I've read all the books up to date, so I'm going to be not spoiling. I'm making sure not to spoil anything at all, but I'm going to give you guys a few pointers, hint at a few things possibly, and tell you if it happened differently than it actually happened in the book. So that's going to be really nice. This episode, in my opinion, was superb. If you watched last week's review, I actually thought this scene was going to be missing, and this was an absolutely monumental required scene, so I was kind of ticked off, but I had the order of events kind of wrong, so it happened in the next episode, which was this episode, and it was amazing. And I'll get to that. So first, it starts off where we get over the wall. We go to Jon Snow and Ygritte. Ygritte explains to Jon Snow that he knows nothing, and this is the scene where they were talking about the way of fighting in the North with chivalry and honor, how when you're attacking an enemy, you're supposed to march on them with drums to keep the rhythm, you know, how drums do play, and musicians, band in general, plays an important part in fights, because the army and the band in the army sort of gives the units that are fighting morale, a boost in morale, and that's huge, monumental, very, very important to fighting south of the wall, which is where they are. And she doesn't seem to understand this concept. She's saying, oh, you know nothing, Jon Snow. That way of fighting is terrible. And Jon's like, you guys don't do that, but what you're going to do is light the biggest fire the North has ever seen, because their plan is to burn down Castle Black. So Jon, I mean, it's just noting, like, noteworthy differences between the way of fighting south of the wall and the way of fighting north of the wall. Whereas they just sneak up on you and they take you out the wildling way, and they march up with banners and drums and all that the southling way. So that's really, really crucial, and it was really important. You know, pretty monumental scene. The Blackfish, Brendan Blackfish Tully, which is the guy that called Walder Frey wet shit. So basically they're talking about how Walder Frey is just a really, really unpleasant person, really bad to be around, and that's just a hilarious scene to look at, because I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen, obviously, but Walder Frey is going to play an important part, because remember, Edmure was set up to marry Walder Frey's daughter. And note, if you guys are watching the series, it's going to be a little bit harder for you guys to follow the names of characters. I've noticed that. But try to remember the names of certain characters, because it really, really matters when they're being talked about. This dialogue in Game of Thrones is very, very dialogue heavy, so just watch out for that. Robb's wife. Let me just tell you that chick is just amazing. She's stunning. She looks stunning. Wow, she looks amazing. Anyways, getting off that topic. Apparently her family, it's not one of the major houses, but they can write and speak Valyrian, which is really, really interesting. You're going to see that a lot of the older, more ancestral houses know how to speak Valyrian, because that used to be the common language in the older days. Now it's just kind of a luxury thing. It's kind of like Latin in this world. Now, what you're going to have to remember is that Robb's wife is now pregnant. She is pregnant, and she's going to have a son who's going to be heir to the North. And in the Game of Thrones world, you got to remember that sons are really, really important. Basically, if any important person has a son, they inherit everything the father inherits if the said person is to die. So for a king to have a son is extremely crucial, because daughters inherit nothing. They inherit absolutely nothing, so that's really important. Orell the Skin Changer tries to steal away Ygritte from Jon. He's like, oh, I would love you better than Jon did, and all of that. I don't remember if this happened in the books, but one thing to note from the books is the wildling way of taking a wife is not the same way as what Orell was trying to do. I don't remember if it happened in the books, but what the wildlings do back in their territory, when they want a wife, they go to the hut, they steal her from her father. Yes, they literally pick the wife up and take her away, capture her, and they're now hers, and she is now his. They're joined together in marriage after she's stolen. You know, he might have to fight the father. He might have to do what he has to do, fight the girl herself, you know. If the girl kills him, overpowers him, or somehow maims him and gets away, no fair game. But I just thought that's really, really noteworthy. because what Orell was trying to do is he was trying to say, oh, I'll love you better than him, and that was just kind of weird for me to see. I don't remember if that scene was in the book, because it honestly really wasn't that significant, but it really just, I don't think it was. I don't recall it being, and I don't think they should have put it in if it wasn't. Anyway, Sansa. The scene with Sansa pissed me off. Sansa was like, oh, I'm stupid, I'm stupid. I'm like, Marjorie. Marjorie started to comfort her. No, you're not stupid. I'm like, Marjorie, if I were you, I would tell Sansa how it is. You are stupid. You are a fucking idiot. And Sansa's basically saying, she's like, oh, Marjorie's asking her, oh, is Tyrion a nice guy? She's like, yeah, he's nice to me, or he tries to be, you know. Is he mean to you? No, he's not the worst Lannister. By far, Tyrion's the best Lannister. And Sansa still bitches about him because he's a dwarf. You know what I say, Sansa? Shut the fuck up. Well, how are you going to disrespect the guy just because he's short? Like, honestly. That's just stupid. She's a stupid person. I've said this many times. Definitely one of my least favorite characters in the whole series. Hands down. Sansa Stark. I don't know how anyone could like her, but if you do, props to you, because you can put up with that, and I really just can't. Don't have time for Sansa. Anyways, Marjorie was hinting at the fact that she has had multiple sexual relations. I can see that. I can see that happening. I'm not going to tell you guys if I know she has or not, because I've read the books. But think about it. She's like, oh, some women like blah, blah, blah. Some like tall men. Someone like short man. Some women like blah, blah, blah. Not a lot of women have a chance to experience a short man. Tyrion might please you in ways you don't expect. And then she goes on to say, it takes a lot to please a woman. How the hell would she know that? Marjorie is a fucking beast. She's a beast. Anyways, after that, we go to Tyrion. Oh my goodness. Alright, Tyrion basically saying Shay's gonna be pissed at him if he marries Sansa. And Bronn's just like, she's beautiful. If you guys have a son, he will be heir to the North. If Robb dies, you get the North for free. A good kingdom, hot wife, and then Shay on the side. And Robb's like, bro, Tyrion, you're set. You're set. And Tyrion's like, stop putting evil notions into my head. And I had to write down this quote. Bronn said back, you pay me to kill people who bother you. Evil notions come free. That was cool. I was like, oh my god, Bronn, the dialogue. And after he said that, he just picked up the wine, the pitcher of wine, and just, oh my goodness. It was great dialogue. Like, one of the things I have to say I love about Game of Thrones, the dialogue is absolutely monumental, and a lot of these quotes, like every episode, characters are constantly shooting out these quotes that are so noteworthy. I'm pretty sure I have a couple more written down. But let's go on with this. Sorry, I'm sick. Then we go to the scene with Tywin and Joffrey. This was an amazing scene, okay. Basically, Joffrey thinks he's hot shit. So he calls Tywin, he's like, Tywin, why are the council meetings in the Tower of the Hand when they're supposed to be right here where I can easily get to them? Tywin's like, I need, like, to walk over here from the Tower of the Hand, because he's the Hand of the King, would take time. And time's something I don't have to spare. So deal with it, bitch. And Joffrey's basically like, well, I'm the king. I don't have to deal with it. Tywin's like, we can arrange to have you carried, but the fucking meetings are going to stay in the Tower of the Hand. And what I like about Tywin is he schools Joffrey so subtly. So Joffrey doesn't get mad, and he still acts polite and says your grace and shit. But Joffrey is just getting schooled and sunned every single second of when Tywin's talking to him. And that's so hilarious, man. Tywin is the only one who can really just put a leash on Joffrey and school him. Marjorie can't even do shit like that. With Tywin just owns him. Anyways, now we go to Daenerys. I really have a problem with Daenerys and her goals, because if you can see, Daenerys is sort of obsessed with freeing the slaves. And there's a problem associated with this. She, not only did she not need to even approach the city in the first place, like it was just unnecessary, after it was unnecessary to approach the city, they offered her gold, more gold than she could possibly ever dream of getting any other way. Free ships, right? So basically she is set 100%. Her goal, she's going to achieve her goal. Go to the Seven Kingdoms, do what she has to do, and win and be a boss, okay? That's all she has to do. Instead of doing that, what she chooses to fucking do is stay in the city, betray the guys who are going to give her all this shit, just so she can free the slaves. Now, I'm not saying it's not the morally right thing to do. Morally, it is the right thing to do. fine, but still, it's kind of, I mean, I guess it shows that she's a good person, but not a good leader, if you know what I'm saying. Exposing her people to danger unnecessarily, declining this offer, this sweet-ass offer for free, literally. But something I did like is when she was using the dragons for intimidation. That was amazing. It was just insanely cool. The dragons were like snapping after meat and shit, and the guy was just like shitting his pants. When they tried to grab the gold when they were about to leave, the dragons defended the gold pot. It was just amazing. It was like, oh my goodness. It was just, it doesn't get any better than that. It was just amazing. And then after the guy gave her the gift, Daenerys' line, "I have a gift for you as well. Your life." Oh my goodness, man. Daenerys schooled that dude. She said, "I'll let you live. That is my gift to you." Damn, man. That was just insane. It was just totally insane. Now we get to a scene that really pissed me off. Just pissed me off. In general, in both the book and the adaptation, the freaking Shay scene, when Shay's like, "Oh, Tyrion, why are you marrying Sansa? Blah blah blah, it's your fault, blah 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 blah, you're just gonna fuck me on the side. I'm your whore, when you get tired, you're gonna fuck someone else." Tyrion's like trying to explain to this dumb hoe, I'm so sorry, Shay's a dumb whore. He's trying so hard to explain to her, "Oh, it's not my choice to marry Sansa," which it wasn't. He doesn't want to. He's being literally forced to. So Shay's just stupid. She's a bitch. I'm so sorry. Then we get to the scene with Melisandre and Gendry on the Blackwater. This was really interesting because this is where Gendry is explained his heritage and how he's the son of King Robert Baratheon. And this is a really great scene because you see the look in his eyes, the epiphany he has, you know, "Oh, I really am highborn. This is why the Gold Cloaks were after me." And Melisandre and him had some really good interaction and really good quotes that scene, so I really like that. Nothing much to say on that front, other than the fact that technically, with Targaryens out of the way, the real heir to the kingdom is Gendry. That's all I'm saying. It should be fairly obvious at this point. It's not a spoiler. Gendry is the heir to the throne, because if you look at it that way, Robert Baratheon died. The true son of Robert Baratheon, not Joffrey. Joffrey does not have a drop of Baratheon blood inside of him. So the true king is Gendry. All I'm going to say on that front. Arya, really depressed. And then she finds out that they're not going to Riverrun. They promised to go to Riverrun to return her to her family, her mother's people. They're at Riverrun, the Tullys. But instead of doing that, Beric Dondarrion and the Brotherhood Without Banners decide that they're going to attack Lannisters. Arya gets pissed. She's like, "No, the fuck you're not. I'm out of here." She takes off running in a random direction. Guess who's there to snatch her up? The motherfucking Hound, who was set free earlier. The Hound is he captured Arya. But one thing to note, for all you guys that still think the Hound's a bad character, a bad person, he's not. He's just been following orders the whole time. And as you should have been able to tell from this season, especially, and a bit of last season, is that the Hound is not a bad person, and when he's not ruled by a bastard fucking motherfucker like Joffrey, he's actually a decent person who doesn't kill unnecessarily. He just does what he's supposed to do and what he thinks is right. He does not commit any unjust murders when he's not commanded to. There you go, from the Hound. And then we get Brienne in prison, and the thing that really struck me about Brienne in prison, that scene, she came to realize her fate, that she wasn't going anywhere and she's fucked. And all she asks of Jaime is that Jaime fucking does the right thing and gets Catelyn's children back safely. That scene was so touching because we saw that Brienne is actually just, she doesn't even care about herself. She cares about her oath to Lady Catelyn, and she's really loyal, and she's altogether a great person, a great character. Jaime, on the other hand, is at a loss for words. He's just so sad that she has to be left behind, but he kind of entrusts that she'll be taken care of, I guess. I don't know. He's really just depressed about the whole thing. He still cares about her and worries about her, as we see later in the episode, obviously. But Bolton, we found out Roose Bolton is going to Robb Stark, not Robb Stark's wedding, Edmure Tully's wedding that Robb Stark and Catelyn are heading to. So Roose Bolton is going to meet up with that party and Walder Frey, all those guys, and that's going to be a big party, however that goes. Theon, my bad, erase that Tyrion thought from your head. Theon and these chicks. Let me just tell you this, man. Oh my goodness. Theon is getting fucked with in the worst motherfucking way by his captor. You're not supposed to know who he is yet. I do. Ha ha. But this guy orders women to be in the room. He's like, Tyrion, you prized cock. He makes sure Tyrion remembers how it feels to be passionately, sexually engaged with another human being. And after he does that by ordering these women to go in the room and really just arouse him in every fucking way possible, he's like, let me cut off your cock with my fucking skinning knife. Like, oh my goodness. This scene is just mind-blowing in the worst way, in a bad, terrible, terrible way. Theon realizes that the guy's gonna castrate him, and he tries to struggle, but no. Oh man, we didn't see it happen, but we can only assume the guy got his dick cut off. He got his dick cut off. And that's terrible. Terrible, man. Oh my goodness. That was bad. Anyways, Jon Snow lets Ygritte know that they're not going to succeed in capturing Castle Black. That their goal is a futile goal. They're gonna die and they're gonna be gone. And he's like, you guys are gonna fail. Ygritte's like, no, not you guys. You are mine and I am yours, Jon Snow. We are one. Okay, we die, but first we will live. That's that quote, and it's amazing. If we die, we will die, but first we will live. Amazing quote by Ygritte. Flawless execution from the actor and the actor. Sorry. The actress, very, very well done on that quote. It was amazing. It was a beautiful scene. I loved it. Let's see. Bran, oh yeah. The scene with Bran, how he's talking to Jojen Reed about the crow and going beyond the wall. And the wildling girl comes up and she's like, no, you are not going beyond the wall. She saw her husband turn into a fucking White Walker, and he tried to kill her while he was a White Walker. And this is really, really a tragic, tragic scene. Like, oh my goodness, how she describes it, and she's crying, and it's just terrible, but it was necessary, and it shows why she doesn't want Bran going beyond the wall. She's like, I'll take you to Castle Black and no further, because that's where Jon Snow is. But Jon Snow's not there. They do tell that to her, but it doesn't really matter. That's what happened in that scene. Again, Bran's storyline, not so much my favorite, but this scene was really, really well done and really, really good. How now they know that Bran's goal and Jojen Reed's goal and Mira Reed's goal is to go beyond the wall. And this wildling girl is just not having it. So we got our little internal conflict between that little tight-knit, well, I was going to say tightly knit group, but they're not so tightly knit anymore. They never really were, to be honest. Now we get to the last scene with Jaime and this fucking maester that got his chain stripped. The human experimentation. He used to find people that were sick, cut them open, and see what the fuck was wrong with them from the inside. Hey man, if you gotta do what you gotta do. That's pretty fucked up anyways. But damn, now we get to the scene with Jaime and Brienne. Oh, this scene was amazing, okay? Basically what happened was Jaime found out from this maester that got his chain stripped that Brienne was going to be their entertainment, because what Roose Bolton thought, Roose Bolton's like the Isle of Sapphires. For someone who owns so many sapphires, 300,000 gold dragons is nothing. You're trying to cheat me. Fuck it. My men can do whatever they want with this chick. I don't care. This is their entertainment. Most of them are going to die, so fuck it. So basically, they put Brienne in a pit. They slash her neck so the bear will attack her. It senses the blood. This is a starving ass bear, and they're like, go at it. They give Brienne a fucking wooden sword, and she's holding it to the bear. The bear's basically just slashing her, thrashing her. Brienne's trying so hard to fight it off, but the bear swipes the sword in half and out of her hands. Jaime he tells the guy back, because they're not at Harrenhal. They're far off in the field. He's like, when I get to King's Landing, I tell my father, Tywin Lannister, that you're the one that cut off my arm. The guy's like, whoa, I did not do that shit. He's like, and then Jaime's like, or I could tell him, you saved me, saved my life. The guy's like, all right, I'll do whatever you want. Just give me a good word, put a good word in for me. I'm gonna get a reward and shit. So they go back to Harrenhal. Jaime jumps inside the pit with Brienne and the bear after being fucking just disrespected by Locke. Locke is just like, you know what, Jaime, fuck you. Basically, he's like, fuck you, this is my entertainment, go kill yourself. Jaime jumps in the pit. He says, Brienne, get behind me. I'm like, what is this guy doing? She gets behind him. He's probably weaker than her at this point. He only has one arm and a hand and stuff. But he's like, get behind me. He starts to defend her. This is where Jaime Lannister's true human worth shows. And this is why it's one of my favorite scenes. Jaime Lannister's always going to be one of my favorite characters in the series. But, yeah, here you see him at his finest, protecting Brienne, even though he cannot win this battle. And he's just a great person. He tells her, get on my back. And he's like, pull her up. So he leaves himself in line of fire, in danger, in immense danger of death. Immense danger of death. The only thing that kept them alive was the fact that the guy on the outside that Jaime said, that Roose Bolton trusted to bring Jaime back to King's Landing, had a bow and arrow, and he shot the bear with an arrow. It did not kill the bear, but it slightly disoriented the bear long enough for Jaime to get the hell out of there. That was an amazing scene. Totally just great. At the end, Jaime and Locke had one final scene of dialogue, and sorry. And after that scene of dialogue, that was the episode. He said sorry. Yeah, Jaime said sorry for about the sapphires, and he took Brienne. Brienne's coming with Jaime to King's Landing now, and they're getting out. Now, Brienne and Jaime are going to King's Landing together after that scene. I wonder what's gonna happen. No, I'm just kidding. Hey guys, this has been a great review of a great episode. Episode 7, The Bear and the Maiden Fair. Wow, this was a great episode. I bet you guys now know why it was called that. So anyways, Alvin Palantir, guys, I'm going to be doing chat. Tell me if you guys like this idea. I keep saying this, but tell me if you guys like the idea. I'm going to be doing chapter reviews of the books for Game of Thrones. I'm going to be doing like 3, 4, maybe 5 chapters at a time, depending on what happened in the chapter, during the off-season, during the summer. So, tell me if you guys want to see that. And tell me also if you guys want to see reviews of seasons 1 and 2. So I might go back during the off-season and do those. We can kind of, we can kind of watch these together every week. All of us can watch one episode, and I can give a review on that. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys want. Anyways, Alvin Palantir, go ahead and like, comment. Do not forget to subscribe for more Game of Thrones related content. I also do other things on this channel, but you guys are going to get a fair amount of Game of Thrones content. Anyways, Alvin Palantir, I am out. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.